What if I told you Johnny Depp got arrested to prove he could play an FBI agent, Al Pacino pranked with a whoopee cushion, and the real undercover operative wore an Irish ring for 6 years without anyone noticing? These 27 facts will change everything you thought you knew about Donnie Brasco.
Forget about this, right?
Al Pacino, who was originally cast as Donnie Brasco, the undercover FBI agent, but during pre-production, Pacino switched to playing Lefty Ruggiero, the aging mobster, and personally recommended Johnny Depp for the role he'd abandoned. Imagine the alternate universe where we never got Pacino's heartbreaking betrayal of Lefty. The film would have been completely different.
Forget about it. One thing I know is boats. I'd like to pop them, throw them in the water, take the fucking boat.
According to screenwriter Paul Addonazio, Johnny Depp's 1994 arrest for trashing a hotel room actually helped him win the role. The incident made Hollywood think Depp was a dark and dangerous, exactly the edge needed for an FBI agent who could convincingly infiltrate the mob. Sometimes your worst moments become your best credentials.
Johnny, do you know what happened? Did you say what happened?
Yeah, I met some nice people here.
The first scene Pacino and Depp shot together was a tense car conversation. During multiple takes, Depp kept farting loudly, making Pacino increasingly furious. Finally, Depp pulled out a whoopee cushion he'd been secretly using. Pacino broke up laughing, and that prank created a friendship that elevated their on-screen chemistry throughout the entire shoot.
Did I say Sonny Red? Not Sonny Red, Sonny Black. Donnie, what are you doing? What are you doing with that? Put the fuck...
Donnie, you want to kill me with that draft?
The actual Joseph Pistone, the real undercover FBI agent the movie's based on, appears in the boat scene as Trafficante's right-hand man. His only line is telling Sonny Black, Mr. Trafficante's leaving. The legend whose 6-year operation inspired the entire movie got exactly 1 sentence of dialogue.
You asked me.
Where's Sonny Black?
Johnny Depp spent months preparing for hanging out with the real Joseph Pistone before shooting him, but most of that time they just lifted weights together. Depp wasn't studying undercover techniques formally, he was building physical rapport and absorbing Pistone's energy. Sometimes the best preparation's just being around someone.
He just, it's like a sponge, you know, like we would just go out, go to dinner, go to lunch, hang out, and the next thing you know, he's talking like me. He has the same rhythms. Every once in a while I clear my throat, he's clearing his... He was walking. We were on set one day, and my mother happened to be on set. And Johnny's walking away, and she's calling me.
Wow.
Because
the way he walked.
The way he had that little gimp. And
yeah.
I mean, he's just amazing, you know. And he doesn't, like, prod you about stuff.
Writer Paul Addonazio had access to Joseph Pistone's actual FBI wiretaps. He literally transcribed real mobsters speaking in their natural dialect and wove it into the screenplay. The forget-about-its weren't invented in Hollywood. They were lifted directly from surveillance recordings of actual criminals.
Hey, Bully, you got a 1-inch pecker, and Bully says, forget about it.
Joseph Pistone revealed he didn't really see his family for at least 2 years while undercover. His family was moved across the country after 9 months, and an operation supposed to last months stretched to 6 years. Imagine telling your wife and kids you'll be gone briefly, then essentially disappearing for half a decade. Director Mike Newell said the family scenes were shot last and felt like making a different movie. After spending production immersed in the violent mob world, shifted to domestic scenes required complete tonal recalibration. Shooting in that order accidentally replicated the emotional whiplash of living a double life.
I'll bet you $20 that you can't get through this entire meal without saying 3 words. All right?
You lose.
Cansado le mete un sopapo.
Did you ever once ask yourself how I make it through my days? I pretend I'm a widow with medals and scrapbooks and memories. I pretend you're dead. That's how my life makes sense to me.
The real Lefty Ruggiero was a sharp dresser, but filmmakers deliberately put Pacino in shabby garish clothing to avoid Michael Corleone comparisons. The leisure shoots got huge laughs. Pistone said the real Lefty wouldn't be caught dead in some of those outfits. The costume became a character statement. Lefty's a no-account guy who thinks he's a big deal.
Yeah, he's cancer the prick. Yeah, you didn't know that? I'm in the medical books for that. How do you know it's a fugazi? You looked at it for 2 seconds.
What, it's a fake?
Yeah, I know what a fugazi.
Al Pacino had quit smoking, so he used Herbal cigarettes throughout the production. Director Mike Newell said they smelled absolutely terrible, worse than actual cigarettes. Pacino sacrificed his comfort to avoid real cigarettes, but made everyone around him suffer with something even worse.
You never hear from the boss until he gets whacked.
So what does that mean? You got sent for it?
What does that mean?
The firing range scene was inserted at the studio's demand. They wanted a shot of Johnny Depp firing a gun specifically for the trailer. It had nothing to do with the story, but ironically it works, showing Pistone maintaining his FBI skills while deep undercover. Johnny Depp was cast partly because he looked convincingly Italian. The twist? Depp says he's one part Cherokee and the rest mutt, not a drop of Italian blood. He so perfectly embodied an Italian-American wise guy that the Bonanno family was seriously considering making him before discovering he was FBI. When asked about the film's accuracy, Joseph Pistone's major critique was, they should have been more Anne Heche in the actual script. The real agent wanted more emphasis on his wife's struggle.
You know that?
Joseph Pistone claimed the movie is 85% accurate and praised it for portraying the mob the way it is. Coming from the guy who actually lived it, that's an incredible endorsement. When the man who risked his life for 6 years says you got it right, you got it right. At the beginning, Lefty tells Donnie that wise guys keep the beaner, large bill, on the outside of their money roll to show wealth. When Lefty's called for at the end, he only has a $5 bill on the outside, a visual representation of what a broken, finished gangster he's become. Pocket change and a death sentence. When Donnie and Nicky read about the boss getting killed, the picture shown is the actual murder photo of mob boss Carmine Galante, shot while eating in Brooklyn in 1979. The filmmakers used real crime scene photography of a genuine mafia execution, grounding the violence in historical reality. The phrase, "forget about it," is used exactly 28 times in the DVD version. That's not counting the F-word count, which hits 185 uses. The phrase became so iconic from this movie that it's now shorthand for Italian-American mob culture, a phrase that can mean everything or nothing, depending on the context.
Oh, forget about it. Hey, Bully, you got a 1-inch pecker, and Bully says, forget about it.
All right, forget about it.
Lefty's shown removing his jewelry right after being sent for, knowing he's about to be killed. This mirrors what actually happened to Sonny Black Napolitano. He took off his jewelry and gave it to his bartender before going to his death. The film transferred this chilling detail from one character to another. The film's Lefty is actually an amalgam of the real Lefty Ruggiero and Sonny Black Napolitano. The filmmakers merged two mobsters into one character, taking Lefty's personality but incorporating elements of Sonny Black's fate. Even in true story films, the truth gets reconstructed. Bruno Kirby's character Nicky's killed by Lefty in the film, a brutal moment. But Nicholas Santora, Nicky's real counterpart, was never killed. He became underboss of the Bonanno family and lived until 2018. The film gave him a violent death, while the real guy climbed the mob ladder and died of natural causes. Unlike the film's depiction, Agent Pistone wasn't present at the execution of the three renegade captains. Boss Joseph Pistone refused. He only wanted trusted members carrying out the assassination. The film puts Donnie in the room for drama, but the real mob boss was more careful about witnesses. The movie implies Lefty was killed, but the FBI actually intercepted him and arrested him, saving his life. He was convicted and sentenced to 20 years, but got early parole in 1992 after being diagnosed with terminal cancer. He died in 1994 of disease, not mob violence. While Lefty survived, Sonny Black Napolitano, portrayed by Michael Madsen, was actually murdered. His body was found on Staten Island a year later. The film inverted the fates. The character who lives on screen died horribly in reality, and vice versa. When Joe receives his commendation, the official mispronounces his name as Pistone, causing his wife to roll her eyes. Pistone has sacrificed 6 years and nearly destroyed his family, and the FBI can't even pronounce his name correctly at the awards ceremony. The bureaucratic indifference is crushing.
Joseph D. Pistone, in grateful recognition for meritorious service, allow me to present you with this.
Al Pacino personally selected Lefty's iconic sunglasses, and director Mike Newell said Pacino has a great eye for costume. After deliberately dressing him in terrible clothes, they let him choose his own sunglasses and he nailed it. Those shades became inseparable from the character. After exchanging Christmas gifts, Lefty takes back the $500 he gave Donnie, never returning it. Here's a perfect justice. After Donnie helped put Lefty behind bars, the FBI awarded him a medal and a $500 check, the exact amount Lefty took back. The universe repaid Donnie through the very organization that destroyed Lefty. Johnny Depp's character wears a Claddagh ring, a traditional Irish ring that would be highly unusual for an Italian-American. Despite 6 years undercover with paranoid mobsters, nobody in the Bonanno family ever questioned why this supposed Italian wise guy was wearing an Irish symbol. The real Joe Pistone wore one too, and it never exposed him. Donnie Brasco proves the best crime stories aren't just entertaining, they're devastating. Pistone sacrificed 6 years and his marriage. Lefty died broke with a $5 bill. The FBI couldn't pronounce his name. Between the whoopee cushion pranks and the cosmic $500 paycheck, the film captured something most mob movies miss: the human cost of choosing sides. Time to watch Donnie Brasco. Subscribe for more deep dives into the true stories behind classic crime films, because the real stories are always crazier than the movies. Keep watching, keep feeling, and never stop chasing the magic of cinema. I'll catch you in the next one.